What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Two Tides Brewing Company, and they're out of Savannah, Georgia, and this is their 100 Classic Comfort Meal. So they're calling this one a Nectaron, Turkey's Pick, Pacific Sunrise, and Revolution Blend Double IPA that comes in at 8% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. And this can is approximately 5 weeks old. I'm going to give a huge thanks, shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Wes, for this beer. So big thanks to him in the description box. I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Wes sent my way. And he sent me 5 different Two Tides beers. He sent me this, along with a big pastry stout and 3 sour ales. Now, I thought I'd start with the double IPA because obviously these are more time sensitive and it's 5 weeks old, so pretty fresh. And when I did the unboxing, I had no idea what Turkey's Pick and Revolution Blend were as far as hops go. I know what Nectaron is. I've had it in plenty of beers. I know what Pacific Sunrise is. I've had it in a handful of beers. But Turkey's Pick and Revolution Blend, I'm like, I have no idea what those are. So I looked it up, and they're basically a hop blend, 2 different hop blends from Hop Revolution, which is a hop farm in New Zealand. Now, I have the blend here off camera. I wrote it down. So the Turkey's Pick blend is a blend of Riwaka, Moutere, and Motueka hops, while Revolution Blend is a blend of Nelson Sauvin, Motueka, Pacific Sunrise, and Riwaka. I think I just said Motueka and Motueka. Motueka is correct. I don't know. Dan. It's correct. You win. But anyway, so this is an all New Zealand hopped beer, basically. And I had no idea about the hop blend. When I was like, what the hell is Turkey's Pick and Revolution Blend? So that's really cool. I'm excited about this one. I've never had either of those blends in anything, at least not to my knowledge. And yeah, it's a big double IPA, all New Zealand hops. Sign me up. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks like juice. So Two Tides, I've heard really good things about them. Again, I've never had anything from them, so this really excites me. I hope this is quite tasty. It's looking delicious, I'll tell you that much. It definitely looks like, you know, your new age milky hazies. And I love, actually, the name of it's fantastic, but it has, you know, classic comfort meals. It has a lemon meringue pie at the top, I believe, has pepperoni pizza, grilled cheese, and tomato soup, like definitely comfort food. So I really like the label and the name and everything. So yeah, that looks like your typical, you know, hop forward hazy IPA. It has that milky, almost like deeper yellow color. Had about a finger, interesting, it had a finger of this really creamy off-white head that is now dissipated to, like, it looks like soap film to some degree. That's interesting. Hold it up to the light, you can't see through it, murky and turbid. But yeah, I don't like the fact that the head just kind of dissipated almost to nothing. I've had beers that did that before and they were still delicious, so I'm hoping that's the case. Let's get a nose. Ooh. Nice. Oh yeah, so this is big on that like, I don't want to say rare tropical fruit, but you know, I love like passion fruit and guava, but I don't eat it all the time. But this has like passion fruit, it has guava, has kiwi, it's not that your typical, here's citrus, here's orange, grapefruit, here's some, you know, stone fruits, peach and apricot and mango, maybe some pineapple. This is like passion fruit guava. Like a tropical fruit blend, like almost like a fruit punch or something like that, or a tropical punch. There's white grapes. Dare I say gooseberries? I only had them once, but they could be in here. And then I'm getting this really like sticky icky, like there's this dank like marijuana vibe over top on the aroma. Yeah. So it has that sweet, kind of juicy tropical fruit. This is not huge on the citrus. This is more tropical with a little bit of stone fruit than anything. But that dank like marijuana vibe is definitely here. I'm also almost getting like a slight touch of like a vanilla. I don't know if this is one of those breweries, and there are a lot of breweries out there. You'd be surprised that, you know, use lactose in a lot of their double IPAs, but they don't, you know, mention it on the label. It does have a vanilla tinge to it, like almost there's lactose in here. I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying it almost has that vibe to it. I don't know. It smells pretty fucking good. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Wes. The taste is like saturated, over-ripened tropical fruit. Really nice. This is like a very dry beer too, which is welcomed. I don't know how many times I got to mention this in reviews. I probably will until the day my channel no longer exists, but I am at the point in my life when it comes to hop forward beers, and especially New England or hazy IPAs and double IPAs, I need a little bit of bitterness or firm bitterness, or I need some kind of dryness, something to break up the monotony of all the sweetness that you get in a lot of these beers. And this has a substantial full-on dryness. It's not really, there's not a lot of bitterness here, but it's definitely dry, so it helps balance it out. So this is just not like drinking straight fruit juice. Body's like higher side of medium, 8%, nice. Mouthfeel, here's a little bit where I'll knock it slightly. It's smooth, it's soft, but it doesn't have that creaminess that I want from something that looks like this. I think the mouthfeel, they have a little ways to go into kind of dialing it in to get some of your, your upper echelon mouthfeels like the Tree Houses, the Fidens, the Hop Butchers, the other halves. This is like 80% there, not quite all the way. The taste, it kind of carries over from the nose right up front. I'm actually getting more pineapple. It's crushed pineapple with sweet pineapple. Hits me right at the front of the palate. Passes through that passion fruit, like a juicy passion fruit. Passion fruit's tart a little bit. This doesn't have as much of that tartness, but it's just like a straight on passion fruit flavor. It's a little bit of guava, like an over-ripened kiwi, sweeter tropical fruit that I usually don't say in reviews. Definitely here. I think those two hop blends and the fact that it's all New Zealand hopped is pretty fucking wild. The cool thing about this is while the first, say, 2/3 of the palate, maybe 3/4 of the palate, is all that sweet, sticky, over-the-top, over-ripened fruit. Second half of the palate finishes full-on dry, and there's this dank, again, marijuana, just real dank kind of just character that, again, is something different from the sweet, saturated, over-ripened fruit. And it balances this out very nicely. 8%, you really can't tell. Outside of the body being bigger and the intensity of the flavors, I would not tell you this is 8%. But, knowing what I know, yeah, if I was doing this blind, I'd probably guess like 7.5%, 8%. But I'm saying just from an alcohol perspective, there's no way I'd tell you this is 8%. Really nice, something different. Now I'm getting a little bit of like an apricot mango kind of sorbet. Or like, we'll say like a mango sorbet. More so, or maybe a pineapple sorbet, or any kind of sorbet that's whatever fruit you want, that's a stone or tropical fruit, but more to me, more like a mango or like a pineapple. It's delicious. I can't give it too high of a rating. I think the problem I'm having is the mouthfeel is not spectacular, but I'm going to give this a pretty high rating. I think this gets into a low 4.5, maybe right on 4.5 if the mouth is a little better. So I'm going to knock it a little bit, not a lot. So I'm going to give Two Tides their 100 classic comfort meals. I have absolutely zero issues whatsoever giving this a high 4.25. I'm going to go 4.35. I think this is really good. It's pretty damn tasty. And I'm glad that Wes sent me a handful of Two Tides stuff because I'm looking forward to that pastry stout. It's like a mint chocolate cheesecake pastry stout, which sounds just wild to me. And then some of the sours, I think a couple of them are heavily fruited and one's like a normal one, I think. But they all sounded really fun to try. So I'm going to get into those very shortly. I have a couple other hop forward beers from Rick and Jesse that I have to get to before I start diving into a lot of these fruited sours and pastry stouts. When you get hop forward beers, when you're reviewing beers on YouTube, I always try to get to the hop forward stuff as soon as I possibly can because that's more time sensitive than most styles. So I'm trying to get to everything as quick as I possibly can. That's why I reviewed this one as 5 weeks old. He just sent it. It was, I think, like a month old, maybe like 3.5 weeks old. But yeah, I really like this. First impressions of Two Tides, damn good. And again, almost close to some of those upper echelon, New England IPA and double IPA producers. So really good. Price point availability, I forgot what, so I'm sorry, Wes, but I forgot. I should have wrote down the list, but I forgot what he said he paid for these. I think he said these were $20 4-pack, which is typically the going rate for a double IPA that's, got crazy hops in it, probably double dry hopped. So $20 4-pack, that's fine. And availability, I have no idea with Two Tides. You'd assume they're throughout Georgia, maybe some neighboring states. I have no idea. Wes, anybody in Georgia? Where do these guys get distro? Because based on this first beer, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the stuff, and I think the rest of the beers are probably going to be pretty good. So if anybody happens upon this video, it's like, where the hell is Two Tides? Where do they distribute? If anybody out there knows, post in the comment section, let me know. Also, post in the comment section if you've had this one before, or any hop forward beers from Two Tides, or anything from Two Tides. Let me know what you think about them. I know a good friend of mine, a viewer of the channel, Ryan, just recently went there. I think he had this beer on tap. I think he enjoyed it as well. But yeah, if you've had anything from them, just let me know what you think about them. Because again, first impressions go a long way, and I think this made a pretty good first impression. I'm looking forward to the rest. So huge thanks to Wes. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.